In the NFL, we often associate teams with their quarterbacks. When someone mentions Drew Brees, you automatically think about the New Orleans Saints. Tom Brady, Patriots. Big Ben Roethlisberger, Steelers. With the Houston Texans, though, it's different. Because the Texans have never had a franchise quarterback before they got Deshaun Watson. There's been one name synonymous with the Houston Texans. JJ Watt. JJ Watt is the Houston Texans. He is the face of the franchise. He's the best player in franchise history. He has racked up all the individual accolades that you can rack up. He has been a force off the field too in Houston. He was instrumental in helping the city recover from, I think it was Hurricane Harvey a few years ago. JJ Watt was instrumental in helping the city of Houston recover. He has played in Houston for 10 years, and today, January 3rd, 2021, JJ Watt will play his final game with the Houston Texans. It's over. The relationship is over. Today is the swan song, his farewell. And it really sucks that 70,000 people will not be in Reliant Stadium to give him a proper farewell, a proper send-off. But such is life, living in this ridiculous COVID society. It is very rare that a franchise player plays his entire career with the team that drafted him. In most cases, there comes a time when it is time for both the team and the player to move on. And JJ Watt and the Houston Texans, they have reached that point. Let's look at things from JJ Watt's perspective first. He is going to be 32 years old going into next season. He has suffered through a rash of injuries throughout his NFL career. Last 5 years, he has played all 16 games one time. Last 5 years, on average, JJ Watt's only playing half the season. Time is running out for JJ Watt. You don't see defensive ends playing high-level football in their mid-30s. We've already seen a decline in JJ Watt's production. Since 2015, he's had just one season with double-digit sacks. He's not the same type of impact player that he was during his prime. Like I said earlier, JJ Watt already has all the individual accolades. The one thing that he is missing on his likely Hall of Fame resume is a deep playoff run and a Super Bowl ring. He's never made it past the divisional round of the playoffs with the Texans. Hell, most years, they're getting bounced at home in the wild card round. To be honest, and I don't want to say that he's wasted his career in Houston because I don't want to disrespect the career of JJ Watt like that. But he got dealt a bad hand by being drafted by the Texans. Now, to his credit, he tried to turn the organization around, but the Texans are one of the worst run franchises in the NFL. They rank right up there with Washington, Jacksonville, as the worst run teams in the league. Bad general managers, bad coaching hires. JJ Watt has spent the majority of his career playing for Bill O'Brien. Dude was an embarrassment. This is the same guy that traded DeAndre Hopkins for a broken down running back and a second-round draft pick. That's the type of stuff that JJ Watt has endured throughout his tenure in Houston. He has earned the right to end his career with a contender. I said a second ago, there comes a time when the franchise player and the franchise need to separate. JJ Watt and the Texans have the perfect opportunity to make that happen this offseason. All of the guaranteed money has been paid out on his contract. Theoretically, the Texans could just cut him, outright release him this offseason, and they won't be hit with any dead money on their salary cap. Now, they're not going to do that, of course. That would just be ridiculous, but this is the perfect time for them to trade JJ Watt. Because right now, he still has value. You don't want to hold on to him another year, 2 years, and risk him becoming a shell of the player that he used to be. You want to trade him while you can still get something in return for him. Now, thank God Bill O'Brien is gone now. Otherwise, he would likely trade JJ Watt for a 6th-round draft pick. Trading him would actually be beneficial for the Texans. Bill O'Brien left this team in a mess. It was a disaster. For one, trading JJ Watt would clear up nearly $18 million in cap space, which is a big deal for Houston since they're in one of the worst salary cap situations in the league right now. And second, you could probably get a couple of draft picks in exchange for JJ Watt. Because of all the bad trade deals made by Bill O'Brien, the Texans, they have little to no draft capital. They have no first-round pick in the 2021 draft. Other than JJ Watt, this team really doesn't have anyone else of value on the roster to trade besides Deshaun Watson, and you're not going to trade your franchise quarterback. And speaking of Deshaun Watson, Houston has got to make moves this offseason to build a team around him. He has no number one receiver, no number one running back, no offensive line. It's Deshaun Watson playing 1 on 11 most weeks. He gets little to no help from anyone offensively. Now, will trading JJ Watt be a popular decision in Houston? No. The Texans are going to get resistance. They're going to get pushback from their fan base. And this is a franchise who can't handle too much resistance from its fan base. This team has pissed off a large portion of their fans with some of the ridiculous moves that they've made the past couple of years. But it's a decision that has got to be made. And it's got to be made this offseason. Plus, I think JJ Watt wants out. If the Texans don't make the decision themselves, I believe he'll force their hand and demand a trade. Have you seen some of his press conferences this season? This dude is dejected. He is tired of carrying the load. He's tired of losing. JJ Watt was asked the other day if he would be playing in Houston in 2021. And he said, there's a whole lot of unknowns. We will see what happens. Let me translate that answer for you. JJ Watt said, I'm out of here. He will not be playing in Houston next season. Now, as far as where he could go, there's going to be 31 teams in the NFL that will line up to get him on their roster. Some are saying that he should play in Pittsburgh. His brothers play there. The Steelers are committed to defense. They're one of the best defensive units in the NFL damn near every year. But I don't think the Steelers give him the best opportunity to win a Super Bowl over the next 1, 2, 3 years. They have serious problems offensively. Big Ben is a shell of his former self. Hell, at this point, we don't know if Ben Roethlisberger will be back in Pittsburgh next year. They could have a question mark at quarterback. In my opinion, the best place for JJ Watt would either be Seattle or Tennessee. I think he would fit in well with Mike Vrabel. And the Titans could use a good edge rusher. The Titans' offense is explosive. They're set up for contention the next couple of years. They just need some help defensively. And it's the same with Seattle. Obviously, when you have Russell Wilson, you're a Super Bowl contender every year. But the Seahawks suck defensively. Now, JJ Watt's not going to help the NFL's worst pass defense, but he will help Seattle get some semblance of a pass rush. Wherever JJ Watt ends up, it's going to be a better situation than he finds himself in right now in Houston. The Texans aren't anywhere close to contending for a Super Bowl. And JJ Watt doesn't have time to waste. His career is coming to an end. He's given 10 years of his life to the Texans in the city of Houston. It is time that he looks out for himself. It's time for JJ Watt to be selfish. He deserves to spend the last couple of years of his career playing for a Super Bowl contender. All right, that's all for today. Hit that like and subscribe button. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Leave me a comment in the section below. Is today JJ Watt's last game with the Houston Texans? And if so, where do you think he plays next season? Let me know your thoughts. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Best way to contact me is by email at BTLKC84@gmail.com. I'll see you guys next time.